Brought up as a Catholic, Irish Catholic family.
Where's that?
In Coventry, in the Midlands. Yeah. Born there. My father moved, we all moved to Cardiff 1972. I was 12 with his job, and gave up on the whole Catholic thing. The whole family did. And that was it. Lived a wild and crazy life. So is that someone coughing in the man? Yeah. Lived a realism. Lived a wild life. Messed up in school. Got into drugs by the time I was 13 or 14. Messed up big time at school. They kicked me out in the end. They just didn't want me there. And from there I went down. I was into music. I just wanted to be a rock star. And I just lived a profligate life. In evil long I took delight. And so that was it until I was 20. And one of the guys who used to sing in a band that I was in just went weird on us, got religious, and quit the band. So one night we were sleeping out rough in an old abandoned monastery in Porthcawl. And I remember it well. It was the summer of 1980. Sounds like the beginning of a song. Oh, that was the summer of '69. Oh, yeah. I remember that as well. Summer of 1980. We were sleeping out rough. We've been sucking on the stuff that we shouldn't have been, and we were stoned out of our beans. Sunday morning we woke up. It had rained. We were soaking wet. So we decided we'd go find this mate Dave. Yeah. That we knew the Baptist church that he was in Cardiff, and see if we could get some food out of him. We arrived at this Baptist church with nothing on my feet, long hair, stinking old coat. And I remember going in and they were just passing the bread and wine around, and we just took it. I mean, just these freaks just turned up at the Baptist church one day. And then Dave invited us around his house in the afternoon. So I don't know why, we had nowhere else to go, so we went round, and I mean, this is how easy it was for me. He gave me a journey into life, which was by a man called Norman Warren, little tract, just outlining the gospel. And I read it and thought, oh, that's interesting. And then he invited us back in the evening, and we went to the after-church fellowship thing, and it was the weirdest thing I'd ever been to in my life. I mean, just these freaky geeks and everything I despise, sitting around in a circle with some guy on a guitar who couldn't play, who's now the minister of that church and a good friend of mine. And they're saying, let's sing number 23. And, you know, our God reigns. And I'm in a band called the Scroats. Okay, so you can imagine this is just get me out of here. And some guy started speaking about a cushion, which was just this is the outside, this is the inside. It was all just sick. And then they sang this song. It's an old song we used to sing 100 years ago. Just Jesus, 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 and He died for me. He rose again. He will return. And they sang this song, and as they sang this song, I was suddenly overwhelmed, just being shaken to my roots. Looking back now, I realize they just sang the gospel. It was just the power of the gospel, the reality of the death of Christ, His resurrection, and faith in Him. And I just said, guys, we're out of here. And so we got up and left, and I thought, I'm never going back to that bunch of freaks again. That was Sunday. Wednesday, I'm in a car, driving on the road from Neath to Brincourt, where I was working in Neath at the time. And in a moment, Damascus Road for me. In a moment, I knew that I deserved to be punished for my sin. I knew it. I just had this picture. It wasn't physical, but internal. I could see the cross, and I knew I deserved to be on it, and He died for me. And as a Catholic, I'd always say, Christ died for my sins. We used to repeat it 100 times in the Mass. And just in a moment, I knew Christ had died for my sins. And I was just utterly overwhelmed with both the grief of my sin and the amazement that Christ could love me and die for me. And I was regenerated on the road to Brincourt in the summer of 1980. I pulled the car over. I was broken and weeping, and I didn't know what had happened, but I knew it was Jesus. I knew He died for me. So I rang up my friend Dave that night, still sobbing, said, "Dave, I don't know what's happened to me, but it's Jesus." So that was what happened. I then went back to the church, started going to the church, come back the weekends. Then I quit my job so I could move back to Cardiff, and started getting involved in that church for a while. And that's how I was saved.